When talking about sim racing, I feel like most people imagine a fully fledged cockpit with 3 monitors, a bucket seat, and all that jazz. But when just starting out, the reality for most involves a desk, a single monitor, and a mass market wheel. Ultimately, to begin sim racing, you don't need a dedicated cockpit, or 3 monitors, or anything like that. Sure, your setup won't look as cool from the outside, but today I wanted to share with y'all a very reasonable first sim racing setup that is not only functional, but looks pretty damn nice as well. Before we begin, consider following me on Instagram for all types of sim racing content, from sim racing news, gameplay, memes, updates, and so much more daily. I got you covered over there, but if you don't want to follow, I guess that's cool too. Not really. This is the sim racing setup I put together for this video. Today I'll be explaining my thought process on the gear I chose, everything from functionality to price, and even giving y'all cheaper alternatives. If you're looking to begin sim racing on a desk but also want it to look fairly nice, this video is for you. And if you're not looking to begin sim racing on a desk but just like watching my videos, a huge shout out to you as well. Anyways, let's get started. I guess it's only logical to begin by talking about the desk itself. This exact desk is the IKEA Maltorp model. However, you obviously don't have to go with this exact one. I recommend, if you can, purchasing a desk from IKEA simply because they, for the most part, look pretty nice and won't be excessively expensive. But as long as you have a desk that you like and is sturdy enough, you'll be totally fine. In terms of this exact desk, there are a few reasons why I'm using it for this video, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. The main reason I'm using it is because it's the one I have available. It's not like I went out to buy one for this exact video. I like it mainly because it's wide enough and fits well in my room, and I like its simple white aesthetic. The main reason I wouldn't go with this desk primarily for sim racing is because of the metal support beam it has around the bottom of the entire desk. While it obviously adds support to the surface on the top and maintains it in place, it also makes it impossible to mount many types of wheels and shifters, which would typically clamp onto the bottom. The G29, which I'm using for this video, just barely fits, but other wheels such as the Thrustmaster T150 wouldn't be able to fit due to their clamping mechanism, for example. Being comfortable for long racing sessions is a big selling point for sim racing cockpits. However, a proper ergonomic chair will also do the job just fine, and maybe even better. The one I'm using is the Autonomous Ergo Chair Core. At $300, it's definitely not cheap, but for someone like me who is sitting on it most of the day working on homework, studying, writing scripts, editing videos, and infinite other things, the $300 investment is an absolute bargain for what it does for my posture. This isn't a review, this video isn't sponsored by them or anything like that, so I won't really get into it. The only things I'll say is that it looks cool and is very comfortable and adjustable, making it ideal for sim racing on a desk setup. While you might be enticed to go with one of those gaming chairs, as cool as they look, I haven't heard very good things about them regarding their comfort. Anyways, a comfortable and ergonomic office chair is what I would recommend for something like this. So now it's time to start talking about the sim racing aspect of this setup. As I briefly mentioned, and you all have probably noticed by now, I'm using the Logitech G29. There's a few reasons for this. The first is that in my opinion, the G29 and G920 are simply the best beginner sim racing wheels in the market today. And if you're on a tight budget and are looking for a sim racing wheel, this is a very solid choice. Moreover, I like its overall design and leather wrapped wheel, which also adds to the aesthetics of this setup. Regarding the pedals, since they come with carpet spikes, I was able to lay them on my carpeted floor where they remain in place. However, when using them on any other type of surface, I would highly recommend placing something behind them to prevent them from moving around when braking. The shifter is the Logitech Driving Force shifter, which for only $60 not only adds to the sim racing experience, but also adds to the overall look of this setup. If you're interested in learning more about this wheel and the shifter, I've made separate, far more in-depth videos on them both, so feel free to check those out. Moving on to the screen, I'm using a 24-inch Asus gaming monitor. It provides a 144Hz refresh rate and a solid image. One thing that makes this monitor great for sim racing is that you can adjust its height to where you find it most comfortable once the wheel is set up. Being a 144Hz monitor alongside a few other notable features, it's on the pricier side. However, you can get roughly the same experience with a generic 60Hz display. In fact, on my main sim racing setup, I run 60Hz displays and have absolutely no problems with those. One thing I will mention is that at only 24 inches, the screen is a little small for my liking, especially for sim racing games where your field of view plays an important role. Thus, I would recommend going with at least a 27-inch display, although if you can't, something like this will ultimately do the job. If you're on a PC, you'll obviously need a keyboard and mouse. You don't need anything fancy here, although I'd recommend going wireless to limit the cluster of cables. Or if you also want to use this setup for other games like first-person shooters, etc., a gaming keyboard and mouse like the one I have here could also be ideal. I'm using the Corsair Strafe and Roccat Lua, but you can use whatever you want really. For audio, I'm using the Corsair Void headphones, which I've had for years. Not only do they match the color scheme of the setup, but look and sound good too. I do however wish I went with the wireless version to cut down on cables. In terms of powering your entire setup, there's a ton of reasons why a PC would be the most ideal. But more than providing a larger variety of games, mods, and a better overall experience, a PC will allow you to move your wheel out of the way and use the setup for working at home, playing other games, browsing the web, or whatever you want, whereas a console would be more limiting in this regard. In terms of my exact PC, all of the components are linked in the description, but the most notable thing is the case, which not only maintains the color scheme of my setup, but also looks very cool in my opinion. If you're on a tight budget, an Xbox or PlayStation could work fine as well, and many sim racers do end up going that route anyways. In terms of final touches, I went with these three main things. Some LED strips at the back of my desk to make me a certified gamer and instantly make me faster in game, a table lamp which looks cool and gives it a cozier feel, and this random thing over here which has made an appearance in a ton of my videos. Add everything up and this is how I came up with this sim racing setup. Without a full-fledged cockpit, triple monitors, butt kickers, and all that stuff, I still managed to create a very solid, good-looking setup. Hopefully this video gives you a good idea of what is possible and what can be achieved regardless of not having a cockpit. If it did, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button as it helps YouTube recommend this video to more people, and if you're still watching and are into all types of high quality sim racing content, consider subscribing as I'm trying to reach 10k by the end of the year. Anyways, with all that being said, thank you all for watching, stay safe, and as always, have a fantastic rest of your day.